Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Global Santo Toy Review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the 2010 release by Hasbro of the Marvel Universe action figure review. And today's action figure review, we're looking at the series number 2, action figure number 25. We have the Fans Choice runner of Constrictor. Now, I got this straight from the local toy shop, which is also a scalper shop, but my favorite scalper shop because they tend to bring in the latest American toys. For 38 ringgit. Now retail price sells it for 39 ringgit and 90 cents, so I actually save up 2 ringgit there. Now this character, I'm quite happy that, well, this is a fan's choice runner-up because a lot of fans actually voted for the character Constrictor to be made into a Marvel Universe figure. So I'm really glad because Constrictor is among my favorite characters in the Marvel Comics. Now let's take a look at the front part packaging here. The front part packaging at the corner here is stated as Fans Choice runner-up, and you've got the artwork of Constrictor. You'll notice his costume is in black and the figure itself is in dark blue. Not to say that it's not wrong, because he did wear a black costume in, well, quite a number of times before, but it's not very consistent. As you can see, the figure is in dark blue and your artwork is in black costume. Not too sure why Hasbro thought this is a good idea, or maybe it's a simple mistake, we don't know. Now, here, his name as Constrictor is in white font, surrounded by silver, shiny silver background, very shiny, you'll notice. And it just abruptly ends on this section here, turning it into black and then goes to white. And you notice at this section here it's stated as includes classified file with secret code. Of course, by the time you get the secret code, it doesn't work anymore because, well, it's too late. Now here you got the Hammer logo, and to those who read the Marvel Comics, especially the Dark Reign series, it's already long over. Now it's the heroic age, so not too sure why Hasbro still haven't removed this. But I can assume an explanation that, well, they package this since 2009. Yes, they package it at 2009 or maybe early 2010, and the Dark Reign series just ended, well, few months ago. So they never anticipated that, I'm not too sure. Or they didn't even bother to follow the timeline with the Marvel's comic industry. We don't know. Now, let's take a look at the plastic bubble there. The plastic bubble, you've got the figure itself, Constrictor, and behind the figure is the base stand. Behind the base stand, you've got the top secret file. At the back of the packaging, you've got a nicer image of the Constrictor, and below him is a bio. Now, here you got the rest of the lineup. You got the Marvel's Dark Hawkeye, which is actually Bullseye in disguise. Next to him is the Yellow Jacket with Ant-Man, a small little figure. And finally, we have Thanos. Below the figures itself, you've got the nicer artwork of Norman Osborn holding the Green Goblin's mask and saying, "Become an agent of Hammer at freefiles.com," pointing at you. Of course, Hammer is no longer existing right now, so I'm not too sure what's the point of putting this entire thing there. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's open up this packaging so we can molest the toy. Be right back. And we're back of the review figure, and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. Now inside the packaging, it comes with a top secret file folder that contains the small little piece of paper of the secret codes itself for you to enter at freefiles.com. Of course, the code doesn't work anymore. Here we have the character card, and you'll notice a nice little artwork of Constrictor there. At the back is stated Superhuman Registration Act. You've got a nice little, small little avatar image of the old Constrictor image. At the bottom here is his thumbprint. His real name is Frank Sleeting, formerly Frank Payne, codename Constrictor, hair black. Now, to those who is not familiar with Constrictor, the character himself, especially in the Marvel Comics, Constrictor, wow, is an interesting character. He has hair, yes, but he's bald on the top. Yes, he's bald on the top. That actually shown in one of the old Deadpool comics during in the early 2000s. Yes, Frank Payne is bald on the top. And just a little trivia for you guys out there. His eyes is blue-gray, height 5'11", weight 190 pounds, sex male. Weapons. The Constrictor's signature weapons are two vibranium cables that launch from special gauntlets above his wrist. Cybernetically controlled, the cables can be used as whips, can constrict his victims, and can deliver a powerful electrical charge. Originally, the cables were composed of adamantium. Yep, adamantium. Used to use those cables to hold even the Incredible Hulk. Well, for, I don't know, 10 seconds I guess. And at the bottom, enhanced human. And that's about it. Not too sure why they call it enhanced human, it's just a guy wearing a suit. Now here, there's a letter from Victoria to Norman Osborn showing Osborn a letter from Frank Payne aka Constrictor. Now, in the letter it stated that Constrictor don't like Norman Osborn, especially during his Green Goblin days. But he likes his hammer getup. He has to put the quote there, that's a quote there. And sounds like it's a good plan and it is a good deal, and he wants to be in because he has skills he can offer to Norman Osborn. But what he don't like is he heard some rumors, and he don't like it, that he uses mind control. Norman Osborn uses mind control over his crew over there, and he don't want no part of it. And he refused to join the Hammer group. Yeah, you're offering a letter of, well, wanting to join the Hammer and then telling him you don't want to join. Just kind of pointless. Anyways, let's take a look at, well, you can call it an accessory, the base stand. Now it comes with a base stand. It got a nice little base stand there, and there's a marble wood embedded on top of it. Now there's two pegs, and the figure can actually stand onto it. There's two holes there. Next, you got the word printed down to the base stand itself as Constrictor, and next to it 025. Now at the back here it's stated 2009 Hasbro, trademark at 2010 Marvel, made in China, and that's about it. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. I really love the paint job. It's very brightly colored, and somehow it gave me a sort of feeling that here is actually a comic character due to the way of the paint job itself. It's very nicely done. Although the paint job is not perfect, some of the lines are starting to fade, especially this section here, and some of the paint job is very sloppy. Yeah, you have to be careful on this part. Some of the parts are really faded off, especially on the shin here. This is not as bright on the other side of the shin. And then at the back here, very nicely done, but you notice some paint smudges here on the shoulder blade. And at the back here, you notice it's not really well done. You can almost see the blue, the dark blue of the plastic itself start to show. So it's not really great. And the claws are supposed to be painted in silver onto this section here, as shown at the back of the packaging there. But it's not well painted, it's fading off. So it's really not that great. But majority of the paint job is still very nice, especially on the face paint job. On the top part here, you can see it's slightly bluish going on. Now, his eyes is painted in white, and his flesh tone skin is well painted, but you can see a little bit of blue going on there. Now, the lips are all in red. It's to the point that even his teeth is showing a bit reddish. It's still okay because it gives you this kind of illusion that he's bleeding, or at least bleeding from his gums. He has a bad day of brushing his teeth, I don't know. But it makes a nice little illusion that Constrictor getting his ass being beaten down and he's bleeding. It's very nice. Paint job is good but not perfect. Now let's take a look at the sculpt here. The body is a typical Marvel Universe body, so there's nothing new except for the wrists and the head sculpt. The wrist joint here is very nicely done, and the entire claw is attached to the wrist itself, and the claw itself is a translucent yellow plastic. What I really don't like is, well, his name is Constrictor, so I really wish that the claw is actually able to be bent and posed, but you can't bend them, you can't pose them. They are forever, well, this kind of a, well, pose. So I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, he is Constrictor, and he constricts his victims and then give them an electrical charge. So it's really disappointing on this part here. Now the face sculpt is actually very well done. I really like it, very nicely done. But he has a really big chin. You notice that? Very big chin. Anyways, let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Now the head can actually, well, look straight. It can't pivot all the way up, and it can go all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but can pivot down like so. The torso here can turn 360 degrees and go side to side, go back and forward. Very nice. Shoulder here can turn 360 degrees and raise the arms this far. Upper bicep here, turn 360 degrees. Elbow joint here, bend this far. Wrist joint, turn 360 degrees. Now the hip joints here can move forward, back a little bit, and to the sides. Double jointed knee that actually bend all the way like so. Very nice. Ankle joints here can actually pivot downwards and upwards and turn 360 degrees. Overall, I really like the figure. The paint job is pretty good, but it's not perfect, and I'm disappointed on the calls there. I really wish they can do something about this, but what can you do, eh? I really like the figure itself. The paint job is very nicely done, and I really like the character itself. I'm really glad the character actually be made into a Marvel Universe figure. So if I'm gonna give a rating of this, I would say I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Why 8 out of 10? Because, well, for starters, he has problems standing by his own due to, I guess, well, his ankles. I tried a lot of times. He can still stand, but you have to tilt him into this kind of manner. He will just try to balance himself. The only way you can actually have him stand properly is to plug him on the base stand itself. Yes. So if I'm gonna give a rating, this is an 8 out of 10 for Constrictor there. And I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05, and I'm signing off.